A new privacy proposal wants broadband providers to get permission before sharing what you've done on the web with advertisers. The Federal Communication Commission unveiled the new plan yesterday. It says broadband providers wouldn't need permission to share things like names and addresses, but would need permission to share your location, websites browsed, and apps and what's actually in those emails. Customers would also be told what types of information it kept and how it will be used. So this plan will be voted on a little later this month. So here's, because when I first read this to me it was kind of like an, oh, okay, that's a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't we be able to give consent for that? But places like, or companies like Verizon and Comcast fall under the FCC. Then you have companies like Google and Facebook that fall under the Federal Trade Commission. So you have that one change of a word in there, whereas Facebook and Google, they don't have to rely on those stricter guidelines. So it is interesting. It's kind of like what we were talking about, where these two seemingly similar companies are now held to very different standards.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, I think as a consumer, you see it all the same.
Yeah.
Someone's taking my information and selling it to someone else. Like, of course they should have to have our permission for it. Of course they should have to notify us about it.
I never really think about it, though, to be honest, and I never sit and read those terms of agreement.
No.
Maybe I should, but the only way I feel like it affects me is that if I look up a pair of shoes, then all of a sudden when I'm going through my Facebook, all I see is those shoes. But I think it is something that maybe consumers have more of a responsibility too, to sit and maybe read a little bit and rally for those things if they're really passionate about it.
What do you do then if you're, because I think about this, okay, let's say Gmail tells me, yeah, we're going to start selling what's in your emails and whatnot. You do have a couple of other options, but really the other options that you're going to are doing the exact same thing. So you don't feel like you have any say at all.
Yeah, I wonder if there ever will be a market for something that's a pay service that really protects your information and doesn't sell it. You know, where it would be a different, you know, here's this email service I buy and then nobody bothers me and nobody knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think we often don't think about like the wireless internet service providers, the Comcast. Like, I get it that I'm using Gmail for free and that, so as a part of that, like, they're gonna use my data. But you don't really think about like the ISPs who you're already paying a tremendous amount of money for internet access, and then they're also taking your information and selling that and doing stuff with it. I think it's something a lot of people never thought about, and so it's a good move, I think, that the government is saying, like, hey, we got to protect you and me, at least make sure we know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.